किसी और के हाथ से कभी खाना नहीं खाता था. He needed a specific spoon in a specific way, a specific texture of the food. मेरी नानी ने कहा कि उसके मुंह में pacifier हमेशा रहता है, तो how is he going to talk? After 10 to 15 days of this homeopathy remedies, one morning he woke up and I said, "Good morning." He started saying, "Good morning." We were at surprise. Ryan got an official label of autism. 4 weeks before that, my mother was diagnosed with a very deadly form of a cancer. Hello everyone, my name is Mithila. I'm a physiotherapist and I'm a neurodiverse person. It means I have ADHD and it means I have a huge struggle with attention, hyperactivity, impulsiveness, and I'm extreme prone to anxiety. And I'm a mother to this amazing son. His name is Rayan. He's 8 years old and he's on autism spectrum. And I'm here to share my journey of raising him together. So Ryan was born on December 16, 2016 via C-section delivery at absolutely normal birth weight, cried immediately after birth. And the pregnancy before that was absolutely healthy and without any problem. My amazing husband Abhishek supported me throughout this journey. Right after Ryan was born, the mother inside me was also born. So I had resolved that I will be this hands-on mother who want to do everything under the sun which is the best for my son. And the first job of me as a mother was to breastfeed him, because for 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding is immensely important for a development of a child. But we had difficulty in breastfeeding him. So we had to take assistance of a lactation consultant. And somehow it was a struggle for the first 6 months. With each passing day, I was getting exhausted immensely because Ryan used to cry a lot for us together. And whenever I would visit a pediatrician, they would say that this is what newborns do. Some newborns just cry more than usual. He was a poor sleeper and feeding difficulties were already there. So I had no clue how to help myself. I was getting exhausted each passing day. And every hospital visit, pediatricians would tell me that there is nothing to worry. Somehow just feed him and then calm him down. By the end of 3 months, I was so exhausted, I decided to help myself. I decided that I would use something I learned professionally, that a non-nutritive sucking helps newborns. So I bought pacifiers, I put him in his mouth and put him in a tight swaddle, and there you go. He was calm. It was easy to calm him down. Elders in the family were not happy that I'm using pacifiers. But I have, and hence were the pediatricians. But I had no other option to use but the pacifiers. With the help of pacifiers, it was easy to soothe him and calm him down. 6 months went by, Ryan achieved his milestone of head holding, rolling over. Then he started sitting at the 7 months, started crawling at the 9 months. He started semi-solids at the 6 months, everything going smoothly. And with the blink of an eye, Ryan was 1 year old. And he was walking already all over the place. In fact, in his first birthday, he was walking, collecting gifts from everybody, and entire family was happy. But there was this doubt in my mind that why is my baby not speaking even single words? Whenever I would express this concern to the elders in the family, they would say that boys speak late. You are worrying unnecessarily. And so did the pediatricians. As a therapist, I always knew that before child talks, speaking actually in words, they first start doing non-verbal gestures, like pointing. One of them is pointing. Whenever we'd ask, where is the car? Here it is. Where is the moon? Here it is. Where is the clock? Here it is. Or if they want to direct attention, they would do a pointing. Ren was not doing. Instead, he was just walking here. His walking got converted into running here and there, climbing on the furniture and everything. Like typical boy, and everybody would just praise him. I used to take him in the park and make him swing on the swing sets. And whenever an aeroplane would pass by, all the children would stop playing and look at the aeroplane with awe, whereas Ryan would just stare into the space and not have any reaction on his face. That used to really disturb me. Ryan was 15 months old and it was his time for his scheduled vaccination. And at that time, I expressed this concern to our pediatrician. So he said that you're worrying unnecessarily. He's a boy and boys are hyperactive and he's supposed to do that. So he will develop language. Why don't you put him in a daycare? You're always with him and there is nobody in the house other than you and your husband. So he's really not getting an environmental stimulation. Why don't you put him in a daycare and let him mingle with the kids so that he will get rich language environment? I searched for a daycare. Ryan settled in one of the daycares. somehow. I told the daycare professionals that agar ye rota hai to give him a security blanket or give him a pacifier, then he will be good to go. So I would put Ryan for 2 to 3 hours because there was immense difficulty in feeding. वो किसी और के हाथ से कभी खाना नहीं खाता था. He needed a specific spoon in a specific way, a specific texture of the food. So 2 घंटे से ज़्यादा he would not go to daycare. अगर जाता भी था तो intense crying, calm down होने के बाद, and that would also be the pacifier and his security blanket, he would just go to sleep. तो 2-3 घंटे सोने में ही जाते थे, and there was no question of mingling with the kids. Even if he was awake, he would be having this pacifier in his mouth, and he would have his security blanket and just roam around here and there and play with the toys, but would not mingle with the kids. एक दिन मेरी नानी ने कहा कि उसके मुंह में pacifier हमेशा रहता है, तो how is he going to talk? So she made sense. But then excessive crying and temper tantrums were always there. Or soothing Ryan was not an easy task, and I was the only one. And just imagine, when you reach 18 months in the motherhood, you're very, very exhausted. And if you don't get any sleep, it is even more difficult. So I have to use pacifiers. I remember 2 months before Ryan's birthday, Ryan felt so sick. And those sickness were always there. Because in daycare, he was not mingling with the kids, but he was getting those infections, some or the other infections. But this one particular infection was very severe. He was down with viral fever, and we were not able to manage him at home. So he had to be hospitalized. And this hospitalized was quite traumatic for Ryan. He had to get medications through IV. And after which, we were told by pediatricians that his pacifier is the root cause of his repeated infections, because he drops them and he picks it up and put it in the mouth again. He rubs it on the wall and dirty places, and all the germs are going inside his body. So we have to stop use of pacifier immediately. Once he was discharged from the hospital, he was very weak and very quiet and was not interested. Obviously, one would think that it is because of the weakness of the post-viral infection. He would just sit in the corner. He had also lost weight. He would not eat. He was brushing his teeth with his own hand before too. He was eating various fruits. He also had started feeding himself. He stopped all of that. He was not touching the food. He would not allow me to wipe his mouth. And brushing was something which he would head and start crying if I would take the brush anywhere nearby his mouth. As a therapist, I understood that Ryan has developed hypersensitivity and a hyper responsiveness to all the sensations around him. If agar cooker ki seeti bajti ya mixer grinder chalta, he would start crying. He had also become sensitive to noises, and occasionally he would also walk on the toes. As a therapist, I knew all this contribute to autism. So I immediately took an appointment with a developmental pediatrician, a very senior one, in Bangalore. That is where we live. So we went to see her. We explained our concerns and what has happened till now. And while she was talking to us, Ryan was playing in her office with the toys. She randomly called Ryan, "Can you give me a ball?" Ryan gave her a ball. And in between the conversations, she called many times, and all the times Ryan responded to her. So to which our developmental pediatrician said that maybe you are reading too much. Maybe you're too much into books because you come from a therapy background. Maybe you're thinking too much. Trust me, when a child enters in my office, I know whether he's autistic or not. The child is not autistic. He's not getting enough interactions with you. He's not getting enough environmental stimulus. And I think you are dealing with postpartum anxiety and depression. Why don't you go and help yourself first? He recommended me to go and see a women's health psychiatrist, take counseling sessions so that my anxiety comes down and I'm interacting from the place of calm with Ryan. When our consultation was over, I did not pay much attention to a suggestion of going to a women's health psychiatrist because I was just relieved that it is not autism, it's simple speech delay which can be dealt with. So there were no prescription for occupational therapy or speech therapy. I have a friend with whom I went to college. She's a very renowned pediatric occupational therapy in Bangalore. So I knew that Ryan has sensory processing issues going on. So I went to see her, took her consultation, and I told her what is going on. She assessed Ryan. She gave me a protocol to desensitize everything. She gave me this brushing protocol to desensitize his touch hypersensitivity. She gave me this protocol to be done in the context of play, of course, to bounce him on the ball, to swing him on the swings at home, some exercises, because stimulating inner ear on the swing is directly related to a language. That is something that was new I learned from my friend. So and also giving him lots of opportunities where in the park when kids are present of his age. So I started doing it. I started doing his occupational therapy at home, and I also found a pediatric speech language pathologist, and we started taking speech sessions for him because I thought not doing anything was not an option. So I wanted to take professional help. He was extremely hyperactive all the way, all the time, running here and there. So the speech therapy sessions would involve teaching him singing a lot of rhymes, reading a lot of books, and teaching him a non-verbal, a pre-verbal things, skills which a child acquires before the actual speech starts, like pointing and gestures, like bye-bye, pointing, give, take, those kind of gestures. So Ryan started pointing and things became easier. So he was able to tell me what he needs in the house. So if he needs a TV, he would point to that. If he wants to go somewhere, he would point to that. That made our lives easier. But his words were not clear. To TV, he would say ooey. To yellow, he would say coco. And he had very specific preference to what clothes he want to wear. If I would give him, he would, if he wants to wear a yellow t-shirt, he would say coco, coco. And for red, he had a different vocabulary that he has made up by himself. So we asked our speech language pathologist, why is it happening? So she told me that Ryan has incoordination and weakness in his jaw, lip, and tongue, because of which his pronunciations are not clear. Even though he wants to say it, it is not coming out right. Also, he is not chewing well. Ryan had, right from the birth, he has a difficulty in the area of the mouth. He was not able to breastfeed well. He had immense difficulty in swallowing. He had even after starting the solid foods, gagging was too much. I had to give him a pureed food even though he was 2 years old. So she said, before the muscles of the mouth are used for speech, they need to be used for chewing first. So we need to work on that. So I was fine, like we are doing something that will help my child to be able to speak. But then there were news of coronavirus coming. It was the month of February of 2020. Ryan was 3 years and 2 months, and therapy centers were shutting down because they did not want children to catch infections. Ryan was also having continuous runny nose, and many kids in our apartment complex were also having. So there were some families which were going to this local homeopathic doctor to help them with the cough and runny nose. And Ryan was also having since really long time. So I had no knowledge about homeopathy. In fact, I was extremely skeptical about homeopathy if it is even a real science. But then I saw other kids getting benefited, and I just thought, why not give it a try? So we went to see this homeopathy doctor. Before that, a lot of family members had suggested that for speech, homeopathy helps, so and so. I never believed them, but since it has, the suggestions had come from many other relatives. So when we went to meet this homeopath, he interviewed us very carefully. He listened to Ryan's developmental history very carefully. No other pediatrician has ever listened to us so carefully. So he gave us remedies for runny nose and cough cold. And because I found this person so intelligent and so thorough with his topic, I mentioned about Ryan's speech delay, that how he's not talking and how he's not mingling with the kids, even though he's about 3 years of age. So he suggested that in homeopathy we have remedies. He gave us remedies for 1 month, and he said, please come and see me after 1 month. I started giving those remedies to Ryan for cough and cold, as well as which he gave for the speech, not having any expectations, but his runny nose really stopped, coughing stopped, and he was comfortable. After 3 days of trying the homeopathy medicines, I realized one morning that I was feeling really fresh and energetic, and I have not felt this in like ever since Ryan was born. Then I realized that since 3 nights I've been sleeping really well through the night, which had not happened. And I realized that his homeopathy remedies have not only helped him in the runny nose and cough, it has improved his sleep. And the sleep was not this drowsy sleep that you get after the cough syrup. It was restful sleep after which the child wakes up really fresh and energetic. He was also calm. He was not running that much around. So he was quite calm and listening and patient. After Ryan started taking this homeopathy remedies, before Ryan was not speaking any functional words. Ryan was only repeating what he would see on the YouTube. So when after 10 to 15 days of this homeopathy remedies, one morning he woke up and I said, "Good morning." He started saying, "Good morning." We were at surprise. And he said, right after good morning, he said, "Mama." And he was actually using words. 4 to 5 words he used in a day, and the list of the functional words went on. And he called my husband Baba, he called me I, and that was the progress that we achieved using homeopathy. The speech language pathologist told us that if you want him to have social conversations in the school, the common language that is spoken is English. And if you want us to help him, you need to change your conduct and all the interactions in English. So we switched, we stopped speaking Marathi altogether and started speaking to Ryan in English. It was extremely weird for us to not speak in a mother tongue and speak in a foreign language, but then something that was we had to do. So elders in the family were also not happy that why suddenly this English is there. When is he going to start speaking in Marathi? That is our language that we speak at home. When Ryan was about 5 years, it was time that the schools were about to reopen. It was year 2022, and then schools were about to reopen, and then I realized we started taking Ryan slowly outdoors. We realized that Ryan has developed this extreme anxiety for the outdoor world. He would not come to anybody's house. He would not come to any restaurant or any shop. Otherwise, he would just go into full-blown tantrum and full-blown crying. I had no clue why is this happening. So I was really skeptical. Is he really going to go to school and sit inside the school? And then I realized that he has no school readiness. He was not able to take, even though he was listening and paying attention and following instruction at home. If some stranger outdoors would talk to him, he had no clue what is being taught, what is being spoken to him about. He had this extreme anxiety. If somebody is coming, he would just curl up or hide behind me. He had no school readiness. So I went and requested a school principal if it was okay that we retain him in lower KG for 1 more year so that he gets time to uh, catch up with the developmental delays that he has. So a principal, we were very lucky that we had her. She said that all the children are facing these issues because of the lockdown, but I would really like you to go to a developmental pediatrician and get an official diagnosis so that we can help Ryan and support him appropriately. So we followed that. Just 4 weeks before Ryan got an official label of autism, 4 weeks before that, my mother was diagnosed with a very deadly form of a cancer, and she was there with me in Bangalore, and we are already started her on chemotherapies and radiations and the protocol for the cancer. So the person who I have given birth to and person who has given birth to me were both endangered. So it was an extremely difficult time for me. I had to give time and care to my mother. I had to give time and care to Ryan. But I had decided I had to choose. If I am anywhere little less with my mother, she has 2 more children to compensate for that. But Ryan has only one mother. I'm the only one who would understand him completely. My loving husband Abhishek, even though he has been my backbone and my support throughout, but he had no idea how to handle Ryan, how to interact with him, because it is always a case with the children, especially those who are on autism spectrum. They are attached to a primary caregiver. Either most of the time it is mothers. So he had no idea how to help me in raising Ryan. So I had to prioritize Ryan. Once Ryan got officially diagnosed, I knew that just doing the strategies that I have been doing is not enough. My anxiety peaked up. It's like what I was doing and what I thought is enough is not enough. I have to do more. Time was going on. I was taking hands-on care of my mother as well as taking, Ryan's care, making sure that everything is in the place. The autism-specific parenting was a new thing. Caring for a cancer. While I was while I was working on Ryan's therapies and Ryan's facilitate Ryan's development, I was at the same time visiting oncologists, visiting hospitals for my mother. But we had no success in that area. Unfortunately, we lost her 8 months back. That was a time there was a major setback when Ryan, I was in complete grief, and I was not doing anything with Ryan. And as per my mentor's coaching, and it was okay to take a break. It was absolutely okay. All the coaches and mentors supported me. My husband Abhishek supported me in that area, and that was a time when I prioritized my mental health, as it was suggested me in the beginning. I went to a psychiatrist, helped myself with the help of medication, because I know that my own well-being, my own mental well-being is extremely important for Ryan's development. So when I was back on my feet with another zest, I started working again with Ryan. There was a time when there was a preferred gender. Everybody preferred to have a male child. A female child was not preferred. There was a time that there was a preferred skin color. There was a preferred body type. Now, there is a time we live that every body is beautiful body. Both genders are equal, even though they are even though they are different from each other. So, in my opinion, uh, it it is not the sole responsibility of the family dealing with autism. It is a society's responsibility as well, because that is how the mainstreaming and integration of a child with autism is ever going to happen. So if it takes a village to raise a child, it takes an autistic child to raise the consciousness of the entire village. Ryan, you are my real hero, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Josh Talks, for giving me this opportunity to share my journey, and I'm really grateful.
Hello everyone. I'm so happy that Josh Talks has brought this channel out where we can hear the stories of the incredible mothers and fathers of autistic children. I had somebody in my own family who was autistic. If you are the parent of a young child who has autism, please share your information with Josh Talks in the form below. This will help Josh Talks better understand the problems that you face and the content that needs to be created. Your information will be kept confidential. Only a few members of the team will have access to this data, who will call you to have a short conversation with you.